Epiphone has been blurring the lines between the Gibson and Epiphone prices with their new Epiphone inspired by Gibson series. So when Sam Ash Direct asked me, do I want to check out the brand new Epiphone 59 reissue? I figured for $12.99, I have to see what this thing is all about. I have mixed emotions, and I'm certainly not sure what to expect from a $12.99 Les Paul from Epiphone. But I'm open-minded. I think we need to check out what's inside. I like this case. It's very old school, 5-latch Lifton looking. It seems to have become acceptable in the industry to have guitars that are over $1,000 without a hardshell case. I'm not saying there aren't good ones out there, but if I'm gonna spend a G on your guitar, give me a beautiful case. My heart literally skipped a beat when I just looked down at this thing. This light gloss finish actually looks really nice. When I've seen some of the other 59 reissue Epiphones in the past, it's kind of looked like dull and cheap to my eyes. Epiphone has decided to use real mother of pearl on the inlays. Something that's bugged me from day one. I don't like acrylic inlays. Certainly, that's what they had for vintage 59s. So when you get a Murphy Lab reissue, it's gonna have acrylic inlays. There's something about looking down at the opalescence of mother of pearl that immediately makes me feel like this guitar is higher quality. I don't know, maybe it's an illusion. Look at how beautiful this AAA top is. Now, it's a veneer. It's on top of a piece of maple, but it's a nice veneer. Vintage nickel hardware. And 2 Gibson custom buckers, which are pretty accurate PAFs as far as I'm concerned. 22 fret rosewood fretboard. And this is a nice chocolatey piece of rosewood. Now, here's the big thing, guys. You have an Epiphone headstock with the Gibson open book shape. And that's crazy to a lot of people because one of the things that defined the difference between Gibson and Epiphone was the shape of the headstock. Clusen style tuners, but they're Epiphone. The only thing I don't really like is that handcrafted in China thing. 1-piece mahogany long tenon neck that runs into the body and a beautiful piece of mahogany. Then you have this Epiphone inspired by Gibson custom control cover plate hiding the CTS pots and bubble P capacitors. Now that this comes with the open book headstock, the biggest thing that's really gonna say Epiphone over Gibson is this polyethylene finish. Gibsons come with nitrocellulose. This VOS slightly aged thing, you'll never see a real 59 that has this kind of shine to it. This bourbon burst wash is an absolutely beautiful color. It's almost like if you took this tobacco burst and added just a smidge of cherry. By 1960, you had more of a slim taper neck, but in 1959, it's a solid medium. It's not a baseball bat like 58, and it's not super slinky like 60. It's just right. I'm not a big fan of putting veneer on things, but when it looks good, the thing to understand about veneer is it doesn't do anything to the sound. All veneer is a very, very thin piece of wood put over other wood to make it look aesthetically nicer. There is a maple cap here. It just doesn't have the figure that you got on this guy. And I like the figuring on this veneer because if you look at the top, it comes to life. The finish is a little shiny for my taste, but it still looks sharp. These custom buckers have Alnico 3 magnets in them. PAF humbuckers used Alnico 2, Alnico 3, Alnico 5 magnets. The PAFs with Alnico 3 magnets are the scarcest. But there's one thing I can 100% say is that this sounds like a Les Paul to me. People have this misconception that 1959 guitars are rare. The joke about the 1959 to 1960 Les Paul bursts is that they made 1,200 or so of them, and only 2,000 survived. It's one of the most faked guitars, if not the most faked guitar on the planet. When people think, I've made it in music, well, do you have a 59 burst like Jimmy Page? Do you have a 59 burst like Slash? Do you have a 59 like Joe Bonamassa or Joe Walsh or Joe Perry? Just holding this thing, it feels like quality to me. And it had better be for $12.99 because there's a lot of people on the internet that are mad that there are Epiphones that are $1,299. In fact, I posted a video about the Alex Lifeson Access. And I say $12.99 right in it. And the amount of comments from people that are like, you're out of your mind. Not everyone can afford a Gibson. And not everybody even cares to afford a Gibson. And if the quality of the guitar, the look, the sound of it makes you happy, and the songs that are in your heart come out through your hands because you have this tool, then who am I to be the cork-sniffing jerk and tell you, no! Epiphones aren't for you, despite the fact that for a long time I thought they weren't for me. I just did a video on this Epiphone Emily Wolf Sheridan. This guitar calls to me all the time and I love it. And it's probably the first Epiphone, at least overseas Epiphone that I played, that I've gotten lost in. Another thing that made me really love it is, again, they put real mother of pearl inlays on it, which called to me, because I'm a sucker. It's like, yes, young child, would you like to eat this candy? Just follow me into this white van. One thing that they definitely did right on this guitar, they chose to put Gibson custom buckers in here. My biggest beef with Epiphone pickups is that the OEM pickups, to me, the Pro buckers and the like, sound meh. I'm not saying they're terrible. I'm not saying that you can't get a good sound out of them if you try. And every time I played a guitar with just Epiphone pickups of any ilk, I usually don't like them. But I love Gibson pickups. And the custom buckers are what you would actually get if you were to buy a Murphy Lab. They have Alnico 3 magnets, and they're not wax potted. One of the things that Jim DeCola, my friend over at Gibson, informed me of is that they actually stopped putting the custom buckers in the American line of Gibsons because pickups that are not wax potted become more microphonic. Because back in the day, people weren't playing with raging distortion. Distortion was something you got when your amp was broken. If you were to take some vintage Gibsons and play them through high gain amps, those PAFs, they might squeal on you. Same thing with the custom buckers. I like the sound of unpotted pickups. So many people have played Les Pauls and carved a legacy for this guitar. I'm curious to see if in 50 years, if Gibson's still reissuing the 1959 Les Paul. It plays so well, It rings out like a bell. And I love the fact that if I'm gonna spend over $1,000 on a Les Paul, at least you've given me real mollusk. The only thing that you should be scared of now is having to tell your friends that you're in love with an Epiphone.
Why don't you smash that subscribe button already?